Come on, I want to hear a really sad story. Yours.
I got beat up in front of my 12-year-old daughter and a bunch of coworkers.
Hey, what's up, world? I'm pretty excited about this video. Not only because of the topic and the information I've managed to compile, but I'm especially excited about this video because somebody donated to my channel. It's like a miracle. So I think it's the second donation my channel's ever gotten. I have to thank this person. Unfortunately, I can't find their name. All I see is that someone bought you a coffee. But anyway, let's jump into this video. We're going to be talking about the third Trump assassination attempt. But before we do that, I want to show some other things here real quick, all right? So this article, I can't believe I haven't seen a single person report on this article. I don't know why. It just seems like an obvious piece of news to report on very widely. But of course, it wasn't reported on because most of the talking heads out there work for this organization. It's very obvious. Alex Jones has admitted that he has relatives in the CIA and the FBI and these alphabet agencies. But guess what? If you just look at these people, if you just analyze them, you study them for a little while, you'll realize that 99.9% of these talking heads are getting paid by one of these alphabet agencies. If not, they're directly involved in them. So anyway, we have this story from the New York Post, October 10th. I'm recording this video on October 19th. So yeah, I'm kind of 9 days behind my recording schedule. I did notice this article when it first came out, and I bookmarked it. But anyway, let's get into this real quick, all right? So, Afghan CIA employee charged in U.S. Election Day terror plot shows disaster vetting of refugees. Sources. I mean, what a weird article title, right? It's like it shows disaster vetting of refugees. It's like, wait a second, does this also possibly tell us something about the CIA and the way that they employ people? Or the types of people that they employ? I mean, was this guy directly influenced by his employers to do this election day terror plot? I mean, this would not be the first time in this company's history that they do some shady ass stuff like that, right? But instead they're like, oh yeah, it shows disaster vetting of refugees. Like, what? So, of course, they don't make that connection. So, the Afghan national who is charged with plotting an ISIS-inspired Election Day massacre on American voters is just one example of the fucking disaster vetting process of asylum seekers during the Biden-Harris administration's pullout from Afghanistan, according to sources and multiple government reports. Who are they quoting here with the sailor mouth? And that's coming from me, who drops F-bombs left and right. But anyway, Nassar, this guy's only 27. Oh no, that's why this is him over here. For a second, I thought it was this guy here. I'm like, this guy's only 27. All right, this is him over here. So let's do this, right? So this dude, 27, reportedly worked for the CIA in Afghanistan before being welcomed into the U.S. in September 2021, weeks after the Taliban took over Kabul and American forces beat a hasty and disastrous retreat. That's some weird language. All right, so I think that's enough background information, right? He was living in Oklahoma City on a special immigration visa when he began stockpiling AK-47 rifles and ammunition to carry out an ISIS-inspired attack on U.S. soil, according to the Justice Department. All right, I think we all know this guy's probably a patsy, and the point is that I want to just point out the fact that they have a lot of patsies out there, right? They busted this one ahead of time. Election Day inspired terror attack. This story, of course, is just designed to segue into a theory that I have about these Trump assassination attempts, right? So let's look at this article, right? So Trump assassination attempt sparks chilling theory into how out-of-state gunmen knew about former president's last-minute golf game. Now, this article has to do with the second assassination attempt. And it's really interesting. Another article that seemed to have flown completely under the radar because nobody else seemed to report on it or even report on this fact. I mean, this seems like a really obvious fact. This second assassination attempt, this second, assassin dude, he's from out of state. Not just from fucking out of state. This dude's from the other side of the country, and not just from the other side of the country, but over out in the fucking Pacific Ocean, because he's from fucking Hawaii. So this dude ends up going all the way out to Florida, and then he just is hanging out in this sniper nest, like, oh yeah, I just know Trump is gonna come here. Like, what the fuck? How the hell did he know about this? How did he know where Trump was gonna be? Especially since, according to the information that's out there, it was a last-minute golf game. Like, this was just some last-minute thing that Trump decided to do, that somebody talked Trump into doing, or that Trump himself decided to do last minute. And that's essentially part of my theory. So I've mentioned this. I'll just put the theory out there right now. I've mentioned this in other videos. Trump has a lot of Christ-like symbolism surrounding him. They've been chalking him up as like a messiah. People like Alex Jones and stuff completely ignore any of his faults and just paint him as like this perfect figure, right? This almost like messiah-like figure. So going with that symbolism, well, guess what happened to the Messiah? He was crucified. He was killed. So it's my belief that that's actually part of the plan. And Trump is aware of this. Trump is part of the club. He knows what role he is playing. So it's my belief that, like, Trump is actually involved in all of this. I don't know if he's intentionally trying to get himself killed, or if it's just to up his numbers. Based off of the first attempt, it looks like he was, like, trying to get himself killed. It looked very planned out. His response seems like the response of somebody who's already accepted death, not somebody who's worried about dying. And, like, there's a lot of psychological things you have to observe and stuff. And this is just a theory of mine. I'm not saying that this is definitive fact. It's just from where I'm standing, this is sort of what it looks like. So let's check this out, right? And you're going to see that, and, like, it gets really, like, all right, let me just get to it, all right? Don't worry, I'm not just saying this shit without any, like, fucking anything to support it, all right? So there are fears would-be Trump assassin Ryan Wesley Ruth had help from the inside to target the former president at his Florida golf club Sunday. The alleged gunman has been identified as registered Democrat Ryan Wesley Ruth, 58, who was found unarmed after fleeing the scene, leaving behind a backpack, GoPro camera, and AK-47 style rifle. He is now in custody. Trump's game was not publicly known about, as it was a last-minute decision, and his schedule is not provided to the press, sparking curiosity as to how Ruth knew Trump would be on the greens. Reporter Mark Caputo said Sunday that Trump has already raised questions about the first attempt on his life 2 months ago, and that Sunday's events are likely to cause wider speculation about dark forces trying to take him out. All right, so essentially this article goes on to say that, like, one theory is that, like, Trump is a creature of habit. And it's like, oh, well, he goes golfing all the time. So, like, even though that this was a last-minute thing, it could have been anticipated, right? But it's like, how about the timing? I mean, this guy, I'm going to go down to where the map is. Is this article doesn't contain the map? Maybe I just, like, went over it too quickly. I could have sworn that this article, maybe not. Maybe it's this next article. Son of alleged would-be Trump assassin, Ryan Ruth, claims father hates ex-president but is not a violent person. I don't like Trump either. I think this is the one. Here it goes. So this is our little map here. So this dude was, like, hanging out here. God knows how long he was there for. Once it came from Hawaii, somehow he managed to, like, I mean, I guess he could have accessed this from the road. If you see, like, this is the road over here. Summit Boulevard. All right, so he's here. And the question is like, how did he know Trump was going to be here at this time? I mean, how long was he here for? These are questions that should have been answered. How long was he in this sniper's nest? Like they should have this information. Oh, he came here on this day, or he seemed to have been here for this many days. This information is never revealed, because if it's revealed that he was there, like, you know, for not too long, then it's like, it raises even more questions. But anyway, the point is that, one, there are theories about this coming from the inside, especially because Trump's, like, last-minute schedule changed. Another thing I want to point out with this article here is not just the sniper's nest here, But I also wanted to point out that, like, people are saying, oh, this guy's not a violent person. And I think that these people even here claim that, like, he didn't even own guns. I don't like Trump either. Where's it at? Okay, he's my dad, and all he's had is a couple of traffic tickets, as far as I know. That's crazy. I know my dad and love my dad, but that's nothing like him. He's not a violent person. He's a hard worker and a great dad. He's a great dude, a nice guy, and has worked his whole effing life. So apparently, like, the Secret Service agent just happened to see, like, the barrel of the rifle through the fence. Yeah, so, like, this guy's son is all like that he was unaware that his father was even in Florida, that when he had spoken to his father before, and his father said that he was, like, on the beach, like, oh, yeah, he said he was at the beach, but I thought that meant the Outer Banks in Hawaii. He probably said, I didn't ask him for more information because we've had a falling out. We've grown apart. So, of course, this guy's son isn't always talking to him, but it would be curious as to, like, when exactly did his father and him talk when he told him that he was at the beach. But anyway, point is that, like, oh yeah, this is not like him. You know, it seems like it's out of his character. Now, let's go to the third Trump assassin person, right? This guy, Vem Miller, VM, right? So Trump Coachella rally goer Vem Miller breaks silence to deny assassination attempt and reveal why he had guns in his car. This guy is quite a freaking character. Look at this freaking weirdo. Everything about this guy just, like, reeks of Fed. And let's read this, right? So the man arrested outside Donald Trump's Coachella rally has broken his silence, confirming he's a supporter of the former president and denied he was attempting to shoot him. Vem Miller, 49, it's important that we're talking about a 49-year-old here, because the way that he talks, and that you're going to see, like the quotes that we're going to see from him, you would think we're talking about somebody who's in his, like, mid-20s or late 20s. Like, he's just figuring out life right now. Or he just figured out life in the last, like, 8 years. That's when this guy finally figured out life, you know. He's been existing for 49 years. Let's say for 40 years, because finally in the last 8 years, it's like he finally realized, oh, I come to the light. Bullshit, all right? This guy is intelligent asset right through and through, right? So let's check out this guy's history, his own admitted history. So Vem Miller, 49, is a registered Republican who tried to present fake VIP credentials at a Trump rally on Saturday and then found himself arrested on illegal firearms charges. Hey, everyone, guess what? They're not fake VIP credentials. We're going to see that the Trump team themselves gave him a special invitation. Like, they invited their own assassin to come there, right? So check this shit out, right? Or their own potential assassin. Let's not say that he's an assassin, because this guy's fucking throwing lawsuits out left and right, all right? This is all just my own theories, my own, like, perspective, things that I've thought. Am I allowed to have my own thoughts? Or is this like a fascistic society where we all have to think the same thing? And in the future, we'll probably all have to dress the same way, because then they'll be like, oh, global warming, it causes more greenhouse gases when we have different textiles and stuff. Fucking psychopaths. Or actually, these would be sociopaths. So a friend and business partner of Miller, VIP credentials at a Trump rally on Saturday, and then found himself arrested on illegal firearms charges. A friend and business partner of Miller told DailyMail.com he is a full-blown Trump supporter and slammed police for not understanding he's one of us. Okay. Speaking out for the first time since his arrest, Miller said that while he keeps firearms in his car to protect him... Speaking out for the first time since his arrest, Miller said that while he keeps firearms in his car to protect against death threats, he has never fired one before and says he's beyond a novice about them. Wow, that's so weird. Wait a second. So this guy is claiming that he keeps firearms in his car to protect against death threats. Why are people sending him death threats? Is this guy some kind of major personality? No, he's some fucking asshole. You'll see that right now, right? And then he says he's never fired one before and says he's beyond a novice about them. That is so odd. Why would you get guns to protect yourself and then not at least go to the range to fire off a couple shots, get some practice in? Really, he's never fired one before, and he's beyond a novice, but he's keeping them in his fucking car loaded? This guy's a psychopath, all right? This guy's total fucking shill here. I've literally never even shot a gun in my life, Miller said. I don't know anything about guns. This guy, I mean, you're going to see, he is a leftist. He's a leftist that has recently turned Trump supporter. And to me, when I say leftist, I don't mean like, oh, this guy has political ideologies to the left. No, I mean like a Marxist, like intel agent. That's what it seems like, okay? I mean, I'm like, to me, it's so easy for me to spot these people. This is one of those people, right? So I'm an artist. I'm the last person that would cause any violence and harm to anybody, he told the press enterprise, adding the accusations were complete bullshit. So you guys, he's an artist, all right? I mean, everything about him just reeks of a Marxist, all right? Everything about him reeks of a Marxist. And we're going to see this. He has pictures with so many other obvious intelligent agents. You got this guy, right? Who preaches global warming and all that shit, and is like has so many leftist talking points, but then is masquerading as like a MAGA Republican who was at the Capitol and got himself arrested. I think I've said this before. I don't trust people who whatever. Let me just stop digressing so much. So, I'm an artist. Oh, yeah. When asked by Fox News about his political beliefs, he confirmed, yes, I'm 100% a Trump supporter. He added that while he'd support Democrat Barack Obama in the past, thinking he would save us from needless wars and censorship, he's drifted rightward to libertarianism. Okay, guys. So he admits that he supported Barack Obama, right? Guess who else he's going to admit that he supported? Bernie Sanders. You're going to see that, right? I'm certainly more Republican now. He said, claiming that he's been all in on Trump since 2018. Actually, okay, I'm sorry. It's not even 8 years. Just since 2018, he suddenly had this revelation. Okay, guys. So Miller said that, I mean, what was it? I guess after Trump went back on all of his campaign promises, after he started to, like, support ISIS, providing ISIS, like, military support, not even really going after them, actually preventing Russia from going after ISIS. What was it? Was it when Trump increased the bombing? Is that when you started to go all in on Trump? Is it when he continued to spend recklessly? Is that when you went all in on Trump? Is it when he became a pharmaceutical salesman? Is that when you became all in on Trump? I mean, come on, bro. Could you be any more of a CIA asset? It's so obvious. Oh, yeah, now I'm all in on Trump 2018. Yeah. 2 years after he's went back on all of his campaign promises. Is it when he, became a sycophant for Hillary Clinton and he thanked her for her service, immediately after fucking, winning the election? Come on, bro. Come on. If you're this stupid, and anybody listening to this video, if you're this stupid to believe this guy, then please hate me. Okay, hate me for not believing this bullshit. Miller said that he briefly flirted with supporting Bernie Sanders without realizing the implications of socialism. This guy is a clown, bro. This guy is a complete clown. But has come to see Trump as a visual example of freedom of speech. Really, Trump is a visual example of freedom of speech? The guy who banned criticism of Israel on college campuses, Donald J. Trump, is a visual example of freedom of speech? Really? Wow, I had no idea. And, of course, that's another thing that none of these CIA talking heads ever mention. They never mention any of the negatives of Trump. They try to glorify him, put him on this pedestal, make him like a Christ-like figure. To me, it's because when they do inevitably crucify him, when they follow the fucking story, when they follow the canon, it's going to cause chaos. It will cause this country, both sides will literally, they will never be able to recover from that. Okay, that's what will happen. This country will be forever fractured if this were to happen. This is a man that I deeply admire because I was a closet individual in terms of my beliefs, because I worked in Hollywood. No, bro. Yeah, you're a closet individual, and I don't mean that in the sexual sense. I mean that in like you got some skeletons in your closet and you're hiding your real self in the closet. As my politics started to change, I realized that Hollywood is a homogenous community, he added. No shit, buddy. Oh my god, bro. Really? Like, there are teenagers and like people in their 20s that realize this shit. You're realizing this in your 40s? Come on, bro. No, somebody came and offered you more money. They're like, "Hey, we're going to change your assignment." From Hollywood, which is entrenched in the CIA and the intelligence community. I think we all know this. There are articles talking about how the CIA and the government and intelligence communities works with Hollywood to make the government look good. So let's see what else is I see here. Okay. Miller also says that there are no falsified IDs on his person. That there was confusion because he's Armenian, and some use his full birth name and others don't to avoid potential anti-Armenian sentiment around the world. What? Oh yeah, no, these aren't falsified IDs. No. I'm a victim. You see, I'm a victim. They have different names on them because I'm trying to avoid anti-Armenian sentiment. I'm the victim. Trust me, I'm the victim over here. To me, the narrative is so obvious. It's so obvious because it's repeated so often. So his 2021 court documents list his name as Vim Yonovikian, or I'm not going to pronounce this right. Okay, also known as Vem Miller Yonovkin. Miller filed in Clark County, Nevada, to change his name to Vem Miller in 2022. The court appears to have granted the request. He further denied accusations made by Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco that he was part of an anti-government sovereign citizen movement. Who's this? Right-wing documentary Mindy Robinson said Miller has been a MAGA activist for years, has no intention of killing the former president, and said she has been to several pro-Trump events with him. Of course. And here we go. We got another intelligence asset there. And I have to say, a remarkably good-looking one. But of course, all of the other assets will come out and support this guy, right? That's a nonsensical statement. I don't think there's such a thing, he said, calling it equally nonsensical that Bianco saw him as far right. Now, the reason why Bianco sees this guy as far right, we're going to see, is because he had an unregistered vehicle and a fake license plate that is normally used by, like, sovereign citizen, like, individuals. And then, like, this guy even has, like, we're going to see, he even has, like, a podcast, or he does, like, some, like, internet thing where he does talk about, like, conspiracies and does sort of talk about, like, the sovereign citizen libertarian stuff. And, of course, 99% of the people who talk about that shit are fucking shills, man. I can guarantee you that. These people, I've seen them say utter bullshit. And that whole movement in itself is a distraction. You're not actually solving the problem. You're convincing these people to check out. It's like, yeah, check out. Okay, you're not actually changing anything. Okay, so they're saying that I'm part of these right-wing anti-government groups. Why aren't they naming these groups? Because it doesn't exist. Miller does have a somewhat checkered past, according to files obtained by DailyMail.com. He married Sonia Gulian, 46, and had 2 children with her, but appears to have divorced and sued her in federal court in 2021, claiming she kidnapped the kids and took them to the United Kingdom while he was working in Canada. My ex-wife, Sonia Helen Gulian, and her parents, kidnapped my American children, who were born and raised in Los Angeles, California, while I was working in Toronto, Canada, on a brief 2-year contract, he wrote in the legal complaint. I am from LA, where I have lived since I was 15 years old for nearly 30 years. No wonder why he briefly flirted with supporting Bernie Sanders. And now we're going to see, in a moment, we're going to see now for some reason it appears like he lives with his parents in Nevada, or at least he did live with his parents in Nevada. Who knows where he is now? Now he claims he's in hiding. So he claimed he successfully fought a 22-month legal case in Canada and got his kids back, but a corrupt judge returned them to the UK after 3 months. The judge dismissed the case as frivolous due to lack of subject matter jurisdiction 2 days later after Miller filed his complaint. So she's a Christian, she's a director of a Christian organization. So in this appeal, this is June 2021, he claimed he had no income and only $4,000 in his checking and a car to his name, right? However, property records show that he purchased a house in Henderson, Nevada for $240,000 in 2015 and previously owned a property in Studio City, Los Angeles. All my costs of living are currently being paid by a 501c3 nonprofit corporation that is helping me with this legal process, he wrote in the filing, adding that the nonprofit was based in Los Angeles, though not naming the organization. Weird. This dude's just got some nonprofits that he's not naming, paying for him to live, paying for, like, who does, like, this isn't shady as fuck to anybody else? So in another bizarre legal complaint filed in Los Angeles in 2013, Miller claimed a company he was working with on a reality TV show had planted a kilogram of white powder in Miller's office, caused a private investigator to find the material, and falsely accused Miller of drug possession. Oh, you poor victim. Oh, poor baby. A friend and business partner of Miller told DailyMail.com earlier Sunday he's a full-blown Trump supporter and slammed police for not understanding he's one of us. Right-wing documentarian Mindy Robinson said Miller has been a MAGA activist. Okay, we already seen this. An exclusive interview with Daily Mail. Robinson described Miller as a journalist and documentarian. Of course, yeah, he's not. It's so out of his character. He would never assassinate anybody. The two set up an independent news site, AmericaHappens.com, after repeatedly getting kicked off YouTube for their stories promoting conspiracy theories, including that the deadly 2017 Las Vegas shooting was a cover-up with multiple shooters. Okay, so here, this is why they think that he's like associated with like extremist groups, right? Because he has this America Happens website that he set up after getting kicked off of YouTube. He's a big, huge Trump supporter. It's what we've been doing for years. Robinson said, he's my friend. Okay, but once again, anybody who is currently a big, huge Trump supporter, in my opinion, is an obvious intelligence asset. Why? Because none of them say anything negative about Trump. All they do is say all the positive things about him. To me, that's controlled. That's a controlled narrative. They're obviously using a controlled narrative. They're part of a controlled narrative. They themselves must be controlled. Okay, that backs up what federal agencies have been saying about the arrest. Okay, so that's that. Secret Service sources about Miller was going to try to kill Trump is not investigating the incident as an assassination attempt. Miller reportedly called the idea of going after Trump complete bullshit. He had no intention to kill Trump, Robinson added. It's ridiculous. To me, it feels like a setup or really inadequate police work, a shitty excuse to get in a car and try to find something wrong with a Trump supporter or something. Yeah, there's a setup going on, that's for sure. Robinson slammed Riverside County cops who stopped Miller at a checkpoint on Saturday where he allegedly presented them with a fake press and VIP pass for the Coachella Trump rally, then searched his car and found illegal weapons. Now, this is really important because I think I've heard this guy Miller try to claim that he approached the cops and told them that he had guns and that was like his normal practice at a Trump rally. But really what you find out is that he was stopped at a checkpoint that was like outside the perimeter of the event, and like the cops started to notice some weird shit about his car, his license plate, the vehicle not being registered. And then they asked him like, hey, is there anything in the car that we should know about? And that's when he told them that he had guns in the car. Okay, so he makes it like, oh yeah, I approached the cops and told them I had guns in the car. No, you were stopped by the cops at a checkpoint, and that's when they found out about the guns because you're just a shady-ass character. It sounds like it was an excuse to get in the car, look at his shit mess of a car, and that's when they found a gun. But every gun is illegal in California. It's stupid, she said, referring to California's strict gun laws compared to... Okay, so he has a shit mess of a car. Because he's a shit mess of a fucking person. He tries to come off like he's a clean person, but you can tell he's a shit person. And if you can't then, fucking tweak your judgment radar or something, because it's obviously fucking off. Oh yeah, I couldn't go because I was having some minor surgery. Thank God, because we probably would have carpooled and it'd be a hot mess. Someone definitely jumped the gun, and the way they released it wasn't the right way to do that either. She pointed to Miller's swift release on $10,000 bail as a sign that law enforcement and the Trump campaign did not see him as an active threat. No, man, that's because they're just... Who paid for that? Who paid for this $10,000 bail? It was $5,000 for each charge. Who paid for that? His parents? Or was it this nonprofit, this shady nonprofit that was helping him out before? Basically the fucking CIA. It doesn't make sense. Look at his social media. It goes back years of the same politics not changing. Not that far, buddy. 2018 is not fucking that far back. Miller's social media posts include videos at Republicans' events and selfies with pro-Trump media personalities popular among the alt-right, including Vivek Ramaswamy. I made a video about Vivek. That guy's a fucking shill too. Another talking head puppet with somebody else's hand up his ass, doing the talking for him. Steve Bannon and Roger Stone. Okay, more shills. Get this out of here. He even got up close to Donald Trump Jr. at one GOP event. A lot of people have run with that story, not understanding he's one of us, and he's been fighting the same fight this entire time. What do you mean this entire time? You mean since 2018? Yeah, and he is one of you guys. Fucking shills! You're all shills, man. Robinson has about 400,000 followers on X. So Robinson's like the fucking the well-endowed woman, and runs her own show, Conspiracy Truths with Mindy Robinson. Okay, so usually it's against Democrats, but we hate Republicans too. We're very even in our disdain for corrupt government, she said. Robinson said that the two met at protests and activist events in Las Vegas, where they both live, around 2020, and got to know each other in the small community of pro-Trump right-wing content creators who view mainstream media as corrupt. During COVID, that whole tyranny thing, a lot of us got off the couch and went and organized protests. I kept seeing him, and he reached out to me 2 or 3 years ago about starting our own network, Robinson said. Of course, yeah, I mean... So anyway, let's get to the next article. Okay, so we have this article over here. Sheriff doubles down on Van Miller red flags after MAGA lunatic is arrested at Trump rally with loaded guns. So this guy makes a really good case. This sheriff here, he seems like he's the only one out of the loop and the only one pointing out the fact that, like, yo, there's some shady shit going on with this guy. And he's like, it doesn't make any sense. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't make sense. So let's look at this, right? So Van Miller was a lunatic for thinking he could come to Donald Trump rally with a loaded gun and several other major red flags, said the local sheriff, who is insisting he helped squash a third assassination attempt. Yeah, but you probably fucking did. It's just you don't realize that all of them are actually involved with it. That's what you don't realize. And they're actually all going to even play cover for each other. So Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco doubled down in an interview with Daily Mail about what led him to think Miller could have been plotting something nefarious for Trump's Saturday rally. Miller, 49, was arrested by Bianco's department outside Trump's Coachella event when a shotgun, loaded handgun, and a high-capacity magazine were discovered in his vehicle during a checkpoint stop. After posting $10,000 bail, the Las Vegas resident was released from custody. Other items of concern found in Miller included a fake license plate, multiple IDs with variations of his name, and 2 firearms, said the sheriff. Bianco immediately said that his officers helped probably prevent a third assassination attempt on the former president by catching Miller. But the sheriff caught a slew of backlash online for this comment, with many claiming it was too serious a claim to be throwing around. I don't know how. Maybe I'm not explaining it right or something, Sheriff Bianco told DailyMail.com. But those are major, major, major red flags. That's not normal, he insisted. A normal person doesn't show up at a Trump event knowing the security, the heightened security that's going to be there, with all of those different issues and loaded weapons. It makes no sense. After reports emerged that Bianco called Miller a lunatic, he doubled down. Anyone that thinks that that's okay has got to be a lunatic, he said. There is no one with any common sense or reason that can believe that it's okay to show up with a fake license plate on an unregistered vehicle with multiple forms of identification and loaded weapons. This is bizarre to me. That could even be, that anyone in their right mind could say, oh, that's okay. Miller has defended himself in a video posted to Rumble. And like, yeah, this is all point on, man. It's like, all right, you're going to show up to the event. Why do you need to bring multiple forms of ID with different names on it? Why are you doing that? Why not leave that shit at home or somewhere, like wherever you're staying at? It's weird as fuck, And then, of course, the loaded guns that this guy's like, oh, yeah, I've never shot a gun before, but I need them to protect myself. It's like, yeah, that makes fucking zero sense. My position is that a normal person doing nothing wrong doesn't show up with all of the red flags that he did and try to get into that event, Bianco said. So could we have probably saved a third assassination attempt? I do believe so, because we all have absolutely no way of getting in the head of what is in his head, of what his intentions were. And now he's out of custody, and of course he's going to say whatever it is he feels he needs to say, especially to deny it, he added. I mean, I don't hold that against him. I mean, that would be normal to me also. So I'm certainly am going to stand by what I said, the sheriff insisted. Miller was charged with 2 illegal counts. He has a court date. Now, check out what Miller says, bro. Miller's excuse is like, oh, I forgot about California gun laws. Right? So this is from another article. I'm going to just read this portion of it. So, man arrested near Southern California Trump rally sues sheriff for defamation over assassination attempt claims. So this guy is now suing the sheriff. And I'm going to be showing another article of the sheriff's response to this lawsuit, because to me, it's fucking gold, right? So, let's go down to here, right? So even after being notified by both United States Secret Service and Federal Bureau of Investigation that they did not believe Miller was a threat and declined to even interview him, defendant Bianco continued to make preposterous allegations against Miller, holding press conferences perpetuating his delusional and false narrative, the lawsuit said. So check this out, man. So the United States Secret Service and Federal Bureau and the FBI, they didn't even fucking interview Miller. They didn't check out anything. They were just like, oh, fuck, man, they got a hold of our guy this time. Let's just ignore it. Let's just sweep it on the rug. They didn't even interview him. They were just like, he's not a threat. We don't even need to fucking interview him. We're just going to assess that he's not a threat using our psychic abilities. So Miller was released on $5,000 bond. It's actually $10,000. It was $5,000 for each charge, and he had 2 charges for the guns, right? So his arrest for misdemeanor gun charges after authorities said they found a shotgun, loaded handgun, and a high-capacity magazine in his car outside the rally. Miller claims he had the guns for protection and said he forgot about California's gun laws. He also said he's a Trump supporter who was at the rally. Really? Remember, this guy just told us in another article that he basically was raised in fucking California, that he spent 30 years in L.A. Oh, but then he just forgot about California's gun laws. Does this seem like a reasonable excuse of an innocent person? It's like, bro, this guy is into politics. He talks to other Republicans that are into politics. One of the main complaints that all Republicans or these talking heads talk about are California gun laws. But this guy's excuse is, oh, no, I had the guns. Oh, because I forgot about the California gun laws. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, fucking lunatic. Miller further argued in his lawsuit that Bianco lied when he told reporter Miller presented a fake VIP and press passes as he sought to gain entry to Trump's rally. When Miller says he was actually provided expedited special entry passes by the Trump 47 campaign directly. Motherfucking directly, alright? And this ties back to my fucking theory that it's all a setup from within, and not just fucking from within like somebody next to Trump. I mean from the big guy himself. Okay? So Bianco did not immediately respond to a request for comment from ABC News. Bianco's the sheriff. Trump, meanwhile, has not commented publicly about the arrest. Of course, crickets. Huh? No questions about why they gave this fucking lunatic This guy who's obviously a lunatic, why they gave him fucking expedited special entry passes. But check this out, there's more. This guy's a total lunatic. We have this article here. Alleged Trump, actually, this isn't an article, it's a video. Alleged Trump rally gun toter is a mystery to residents of his former Vegas neighborhood, reporter replay. Okay, so there's this video. They fucking like went and like investigated. I'm just gonna play the sound directly from my laptop speakers into my mic, so the sound's gonna be terrible. But let's just check this out. I'll probably pause it a couple times to avoid copyright.
Ben Miller is identified as a resident of Las Vegas who brought...
Oh yeah, something else I need to point out. This guy's really into the whole black and white thing. You're going to see.
at least 2 guns to a Donald Trump for President rally in Coachella, California on Saturday. Miller, who says he's innocent of any ill intent...
Okay, so here's his pictures with all the other snakes.
Fox News Digital that he is a Trump supporter and doesn't want to harm the former president. Says that he identified himself to police officers at the scene and told them about his weapons because that's his standard practice.
So yeah, this guy here, he says that like the fucking lunatic presented told the police about his guns because that's his standard practice. Meanwhile, it's like reports are that you were stopped at a checkpoint. And by the way, Fetterman, this guy, the Senator Fetterman, this dude Miller reminds me a lot of the Senator Fetterman.
Who is Vem Miller? What was he like, and what is his neighborhood like that he lived in swing state Nevada for certainly a number of years? He ran unsuccessfully.
Of course, he's here with this frickin' perverse psychopath over here. This frickin' other total lunatic. Well, yeah, I'm not a perverse lunatic. I didn't definitely fucking drive one of my wives to suicide, if not directly kill her myself. Psychopath, lunatics, man.
The Nevada Assembly as a GOP candidate in 2022.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. This guy, according to this video, this guy Miller actually ran unsuccessfully as a Nevada GOP candidate. I think as a senator or congress member or something like that. He actually ran under the GOP in Nevada in 2022. So like 2 years ago.
Went to his neighborhood on the west side of Las Vegas yesterday, and the neighbors who did know of him didn't have much to say. Miller kept to himself. He lived in a...
Yeah, this is something he does a lot. The black with the white background. In a lot of his interviews, I noticed this this contrast, and it's something that a lot of Masons do. If you observe Masons and their videos and stuff, it's something that they do a lot. This channel that I used to criticize on BitChute, what were they called? Waking the Future. One of those clowns really like to do that a lot.
Rented house with 2 elderly people that are presumed to have been his parents. The property wasn't very well maintained. One of the neighbors who didn't want to be identified.
So pretty much in this video, like this guy finds out, and of course, like, you know, he's got this clown. One of the neighbors find out. This reporter finds out from one of the neighbors that it took the property owner, because like he was renting the property, Miller, with these 2 elderly people that are presumed to be his parents. It took the property owner 6 months of like cleaning and renovating the place before they can rent it out to somebody else again. And of course, this fucking one female chick that was in the other article, she said his car is a mess. He's a messy person. Okay, but anyway, so this is another important article I have to include here, and this is like one of the most recent articles. Sheriff slams odd defamation lawsuit filed against him by man arrested at Trump rally assassination scare, right? So the Southern California sheriff who accused a man with guns outside a Donald Trump rally over the weekend of plotting an assassination claims it's odd that a lawsuit was brought against him so quickly. Then Miller, 49, is suing Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco for defamation after he and his deputies claimed publicly that they probably prevented a 3rd assassination attempt on the former president's life. I do find it odd. Probably the fastest lawsuit filed in history. The next business day, Sheriff Bianco exclusively told DailyMail.com when asked about the legal action. One could argue it was already prepared and planned, he added. It just gets more odd. But Miller insists that the swiftness of legal action is because he is concerned his life is at risk if his name isn't cleared. It's like, no, dude, that's not how it works, right? The thing is, like, in order to put this lawsuit, you gotta, like, do a lot of typing, you gotta put a lot of shit together. There's a lot of time that goes into that. And, it's just kind of odd how quickly you put all that shit together. The reason why this thing was filed so quickly is because, as a result of what's happened, my life is in danger now, Miller told DailyMail.com. But wasn't his life already in danger? Didn't he already claim that he was carrying guns because he was receiving death threats against his life? Like that he wanted to protect against death threats, which insinuates that he was receiving death threats, right? But now he's in danger of his life, right? So I've been told by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department that because of some of these headline readers that haven't discovered that this thing's entirely a fraud, there could be some mentally imbalanced individuals that would do something, like almost like the Lee Harvey Oswald Jack Ruby situation, where I'm potentially killed by an individual as a way of somebody who might be mentally unstable to protect Donald Trump, he explained. And so I've been told that it's best for me to be in the jurisdiction of Las Vegas to be protected by Las Vegas Metropolitan Police because they don't want me to be assassinated, he continued. Especially after it's pretty clear cut that everything I'm saying is true, and really the criminal behavior here is coming from Sheriff Bianco's department, who is grossly incompetent and did this very unfortunate and damaging thing. Yeah, he's the incompetent one. He's the one that shows up to a fucking Trump rally with fucking guns in the car, fucking fake license plate, unregistered vehicle. Yeah, he's the fucking incompetent one. Oh, I forgot about California's gun laws. What a fucking lunatic. Okay, so the point is that this sheriff appears to be, it looks like they're trying to silence him. It looks like he might be a legit dude outside of the circle. It looks like he's not quieting up about like what he saw as really fucking weird, but it looks like they're really trying really hard to shut him up, including they're probably the ones who put this defamation lawsuit together for Miller and was like, oh yeah, we got to put this shit together real quick to shut the sheriff up because too many people are going to be questioning what's actually going on here with all these shady ass motherfucking obvious intelligence agents, right? So I think I got a couple more things to show. Who is Miller registered? There might be something here. Oh yeah, this is just that he ran for state assembly in Nevada in 2022, but lost his primary. Yeah, he's a film and TV industry professional, hosts a podcast called Blood Money on the American Happens Network. Miller is the founder of the network. The podcast focuses on topics of corruption, controversy, and conspiracy. Topics the mainstream media will not touch. So this is the right-wing extremist group that they were claiming that he was part of. It's not a right-wing extremist group. It's a bunch of fucking intelligent assets that are trying to rally up normal, everyday people. And that's actually what's really happening. You have a lot of these talking heads. Their jobs are actually just to create actual extremists that the media can then report on. And they do that through these ridiculous podcasts of theirs where they just largely misconstrue the truth. And they work with a controlled narrative. They won't actually tell you what's wrong with this country. They won't tell you what's actually happening. No, they're just going to be very vague and general to get you all rallied up against basically fucking ghosts and apparitions because of how vague and general they are with their talking. And then you go out and you do some extreme shit. And then, of course, the cycle continues. So what else do we have here? Oh, nope, that's about all. Once again, I'd like to finish out this video by thanking the person who provided me with this $5 of support that will stay in my Buy Me a Coffee bank, I guess. Maybe one day when my Buy Me a Coffee bank fills up to a certain point, I'll take my summer vacation off and I'll go travel around the country and spread a message about a new political system, which once again, I really think is the only solution to this stuff. People, you got to get this message of this new political system. People need to realize it. We set up basically a mock version of it. We do a couple years of that to show that it's a system that can actually work, in a hypothetical realm. And then people will hopefully demand it and will adopt it without any sort of violence. But anyway, you all take it easy. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive. Don't let this world depress you. That's what they want. They want to depress you. They want to bring you down. They want to make you inactive. They want to take you out of the fight. Stay in the fight. Stay strong. Stay positive.
Damn. I was really hoping to give a shit.